everyone to Tech Horizons, where we explore the cutting-edge challenges and advancements shaping our digital world. I'm your host, Jane, and today we have a very special guest, Dr. Sabih Jibara, a renowned author and expert in telecommunications and 5G networks. Dr. Jibara, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Jane. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to discuss some of the challenges and solutions related to the global deployment of 5G networks.
Absolutely. And there's so much to cover. Your book provides such a comprehensive look at these issues. Let's dive right in with one of the biggest challenges you've highlighted, spectrum allocation. Could you explain why this is such a crucial hurdle in 5G deployment?
Certainly, Jane. Spectrum allocation is foundational for 5G. 5G networks are designed to handle much higher data speeds and greater connectivity demands, but this requires more bandwidth. The radio frequencies we use are limited resources, and allocating enough spectrum is essential to support the sheer volume of data 5G is capable of carrying.
And, as I understand, there's also competition for this limited spectrum, correct? Between telecommunications, the government, and even some private companies?
Exactly. Different sectors, including telecommunications, defense, and broadcasting, all require spectrum. Striking a balance in this allocation while accommodating 5G's needs is challenging. Regulatory bodies worldwide are working on frameworks, but it's a complex and often lengthy process.
It's like there's no quick solution, but it's essential to get it right. Now, along with spectrum, infrastructure is another massive undertaking. 5G requires a dense network of small cells, correct?
That's correct. Unlike previous generations, which relied on larger cell towers, 5G necessitates a denser network of smaller cells to deliver high-speed coverage consistently. This infrastructure expansion involves considerable investment and logistical coordination to install these small cells, especially in urban environments where coverage is crucial.
And that leads to additional complications, right? Because you're coordinating not just with telecom providers, but also with local governments and communities.
Precisely, Jane. We must ask ourselves tough questions about privacy, surveillance, and autonomy. For example, what data is being collected and how is it used? Is it ethical to deploy technologies that might invade personal privacy, even if unintentionally? The answers aren't straightforward, and they require a balance between innovation and responsibility.
Now, on to a topic I know a lot of listeners are concerned about: security. With 5G, and especially with the expansion of IoT, there's an increased number of connected devices, which potentially makes the network more vulnerable to cyber threats. How does your book address this?
Security is indeed a major concern. The interconnected nature of 5G with the Internet of Things means there are far more entry points for potential cyber attacks. In my book, I emphasize the importance of several layers of protection, including robust encryption, secure authentication protocols, and real-time monitoring.
It's not just about installing firewalls and antivirus programs anymore. These new measures must be woven into the network itself, right?
Exactly. The network needs to be secure from the ground up. With 5G's reach extending into critical areas like healthcare and infrastructure, any vulnerabilities could have serious consequences. By integrating AI into communication protocols, we can create adaptive defenses that monitor and respond to threats in real time.
AI sounds like a game changer here, helping networks respond almost instantly to potential breaches. But as you move into the realm of AI and even look towards 6G, your book takes on some complex ethical questions as well, doesn't it?
That's right. As we integrate AI and move towards 6G, there are broader ethical implications to consider. 6G will take connectivity and automation to a whole new level, and with it, we'll see increased capabilities in data collection and surveillance. These advancements necessitate careful thought about data privacy, user consent, and the responsible use of technology.
I think that's something many people overlook. As much as we love the convenience of smart devices and interconnected systems, there's a real societal responsibility that comes with these technologies.
Precisely, Jane. We must ask ourselves tough questions about privacy, surveillance, and autonomy. For example, What data is being collected and how is it used? Is it ethical to deploy technologies that might invade personal privacy, even if unintentionally? The answers aren't straightforward, and they require a balance between innovation and responsibility.
That's such a profound point. For policymakers and tech practitioners tuning in, what message do you hope they take away from your book?
I would urge them to look beyond just technical deployment. We need a collaborative approach where we consider the long-term impacts of 5G and future networks, both positive and negative. Security, infrastructure, and ethical considerations should be at the forefront of deployment strategies.
I love that. Seeing technology not just as an innovation, but as a responsibility. Dr. Jibara, thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your insights.
Thank you, Jane. It was a pleasure to discuss these important topics with you.
And thank you to our listeners for tuning in. If you're intrigued by today's conversation, be sure to check out Dr. Jibara's book, which provides an in-depth exploration of these complex issues. Until next time, keep questioning, stay informed, and embrace the future responsibly.